Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the Carbootcrafter, and welcome to my month of embellishments and small projects. So a month where we're making lots of little projects or embellishments to be stored, to be used throughout the coming months. It's something that I like to do to use up my scraps, but also to make sure I've got lots of little embellishments. I usually keep them in a little box on the shelf full of bits that I can use whenever I'm kind of like running out of inspiration, and I make them on days when I've got no inspiration or no mojo for crafting and I really want to do something. So I've got a handful of projects that I always like to give a go. So I come in today not quite sure what I was going to do. But on my desk I'd left these papers which I've been using for a couple of the projects, a couple of the things I've been making, and they were sat just like that. And for some reason it just reminded me of this, which is a fridge magnet that my daughter bought me last year from her holidays. And we got it downstairs on the fridge, and it just kind of reminded me of that, with all the colours, the bright citrusy colours especially. And I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. So using a lot of the scraps, I came up with these. Now I have seen something similar before, so they're not new, but yeah, they're new to me. I've not made them before, and I thought they'd be fun to give a try. So this is one that's complete and ready to go. I've got to decorate those two up, but I thought it'd be a fun embellishment to pop in my drawer with all the other embellishments that I've got ready to go. So brilliant for not Easter, summer holiday albums and things like that. So I'm going to pop those to one side. I'm going to show you how I've made them. So I've started off by cutting myself some scraps. So this is just a piece of fairly thick card, to be honest, because I wanted something sturdy. And I've cut some pieces that are 2 by 3 3/4, and that makes that size. And then I've done some that are 2.5 by 1.5, and that does that size. And then these ones are 2.5 by 1.25, and that does that size. So I'm going to have a go at doing all of them. Why not? So pop them to one side. And then what I did was I got all my scraps and bits and bobs, and I've just cut loads. So these ones are all 1/2 inch, and I've cut some more. These ones are 3/4 inch. So I'm just going to very simply, I decided what I wanted to do was do them in a kind of order. As you can see on all of mine, they're in the same order. It's just that one is one way and one's the other. So I wanted them going from the yellow to that deep blue on some. So all I'm going to do is glue them on. As simple as that, in whatever order works for you. So somebody's car alarm is going on out the front, guys, so I'm really sorry. One of the things I did think, and I haven't done it for this, was I did think, instead of cutting 2 pieces, so these are both 1.25 by 2.5, I did think about doubling up, so cutting one piece that was 2.5 by 2.5, and then just cutting it in half. So I might do that to kind of speed up the process a bit. So I just lay them side by side like that, and then just lay my papers out. So I'll need these. So there's my yellows, there's my oranges, my reds, my greens and my blues. And then I'm just going to start at the top and lay them on. So making sure that this goes all the way to the top. So those are even. And then I want an orange one, so I'm just going to bump that up to there like that. Then a red one like that. and green and then blue, like that. And these have got ever such a slight texture, so sometimes I'm going to use the smooth side, sometimes I'm going to use the textured side, so just to give it a bit more character, a bit more. And I'm going to leave that for a minute to dry. So let's pop that to one side, and I'm going to do exactly the same with these two. So again, put my glue on. So these ones that I'm gluing down are 1/2 inch. That's why I've done so many, because I'm doing lots of these little ones. These may very well end up in a album or even in a pocket letter or something. Put some down the middle, I don't really need to, but you know, there we go. So again, pop those next to each other, and again I'm going to start with my yellow, line those two sides up, and you can do them this way or put your paper down and then pop your card on top, but I do it this way because I don't want to get gunk all over my, so you could, you know, pop that down, put the glue on here and then lay your backing card on top, but I don't want to. I think that's a bit, for me, my brain wouldn't work that way. So whatever works for you guys. So again, line them up like that. It's this bit that you need to make sure is lined up. You're not worried about this bit because we're going to cut those off. So next one's red. Pop that on there like that. And you could use patterned ones if you wanted as well. That would be nice. That would look good with your patterned one. And then your blue one, or my blue one's last. Use whatever colours you've got. But I'm getting these, like say, from the car boot for about 50p, I think I'm paying for these. So they were in Poundland. I don't know if they're still there. Haven't seen them in mine recently, but yeah, they were in Poundland. So yeah, that's what I'm using. But if you've got other scraps, use them. That one's a bit on the wonk look, but I'm not going to worry about that, especially now that it's dry or nearly dry. And then this one, so this is my 2 by 3 3/4. I've got strips that are 3/4 inch to go on here, and you just, you know, whatever colours you've got, measure your paper to go with. So if I only had 4, I'd probably go either for 1 inch and then have this at 4 inches, or you know, maybe instead of it being 3 3/4, have it at 3 inches, or repeat one of my colours, you know, whatever works for you. So I'm popping that one down on top of there. Then it's green. To think for a minute. I just like this kind of like fading from one into the other. It just kind of reminds me of some of the ice lolls we used to have when I was a kid. And they come together so quickly. Once you've done all the prep, which is the cutting and the, you know, the making your strip, choosing your papers and doing all the cutting, once you've got your glue out, they come together so easy. I probably could have done 2 on there, couldn't I? But never mind. That one's slightly on the wonk as well, but I'm not worried about it one little bit. So I'm getting my scissors out. I like using the long scissors just because you can get that nice smooth cut. And then I'm cutting all those little bits off like that. I'm just going to tidy up that edge because it is ever so slightly on the wonk there. So there's one. I'll do that one. There's 2. And look how quick and easy this all comes together once you've got it all your cutting done. So simple. There's that one. And it's really satisfying, I have to say, cutting and all of those little pieces falling off. That's so satisfying. Cut down the middle and then cut those off like that. Oh, not quite straight, Teresa, there we go. And I'm just going to tidy up that end like that, and that end, no, it doesn't really need it, I can't get at it. And then that one as well, like that. Yep, that's all done. So last one, again, nice long snips with my scissors like that. And I'm just going to, you can just see the yellow there, so I'm just going to tidy that up as well at the top there. We go. And those are all our bits done. I'll move that over there. And now you need a handle for your ice lol, don't you? So I've got some craft card, which I thought can look, you know, fairly like a wooden lollipop stick. So for my big one, I've got a piece that measures 3/4 of an inch, and it's much longer. You don't have to, that's 2.5 inches, but you don't have to. Let me grab my cutter and I can get them all cut. So that's 3/4 of an inch. Pop that in there. 3/4 of an inch. So there's that one done. Then this one is 1/2 an inch, so I'll need 2 of those. So 1/2 an inch, where's my 1/2 an inch on here? It's, of course, it's one of those that's fallen off the radar with this one. So I could cut that in half, but I'm going to cut 2 because I like the long stick sometimes. So there's that one. So there's those 2, and then for my tiny little one, this one is, oh no, this one is 1, 2, 3, 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to do it by best guesstimates. So 3/8 of an inch, I think, is roughly about there. And let's do another one. So they come together so quick once you've done all your cutting. I should have perhaps cut those first. So once you've got all your sticks done, that's waste, isn't it? Once you've got all your sticks done, you've now got a choice of either leaving them squared like that, or if you've got something like this, or let me see if I can find my flat corner rounder, which I don't use very much now since I've had those. Yeah, or you can use a flat corner rounder like this. So let's use it on this one. So just pop it in the corner and cut one corner like that, flip it over and cut the other corner. Not very sharp anymore, and that gives you a nice rounded. Mine aren't very sharp because I probably should have either got some tin foil in it to sharpen them off, or taken them to the charity shop, is the truth. I probably should have done that a while ago, especially as I've now got these. So that's that one. So I'm going to decide, I want my yellow at the top, so I'm going to just glue that on the bottom. And again, you know, have it as long or as short as you like. I like it about that length. So I'm going to pop glue all the way down like that and pop it on. Make sure it's somewhere in the middle there, and press down like that. And I'm going to give that a minute to dry. Let's move those out the way. I'll use those for the rest of them in a bit. And then these 2, so these 2 were the 1/2 inch ones. Now the 1/2 inch ones are a little bit more challenging. I'm not going to use that because that's not cutting very well. So I'm going to use this, but I'm using the 1/4 of an inch side So again, pop that in as far as it'll go, punch, so you get your cornered round off, pop the other side in and do the same. I'll do that again on this one, pop that in, and this one, pop that in. Like I say, if you've got a decent corner rounder that's still working, then use that instead. This one just needs a little bit of a trim just to make sure that that's straight. And there's my other one, and again, only this time I'm going to turn that one round because I think I'm going to have some different ways. So glue on the back of my lollipop stick. I'm going to pop that on, again taking it down a bit, but making sure by eye, let's bring that in, by eye, that this is in the middle like that. Once I'm happy, pop that to dry, and again on this one, and then I shall do my tiny little ones as well. Just to finish those off, and then I can decorate them and do the last bit. So this, again, this one I kind of, because it's so small, it just ends up in a rather strange shape. So I do it and then round it off, trying to even it out a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's ever so slightly on the wonk, because, you know, life is a bit wonky, isn't it? And actually it all adds to the character of it anyway. So round that off, back up, and glue. I'm going to do the same with this one way and one the other, just because when I'm putting them in my albums, they just give a little bit more interest that way, I suppose, don't they? So that one will be yellow side down, and this one will be blue side down, like that. And then all that's left to do is to grab your corner rounder again, and I'm going to use do the big one first because that's dry, and this time I'm going to go on the 1/2 inch, or use your widest punch, and then at the top, so the other end from your lollipop stick, pop that in and round those corners off. Of course, if you haven't got any of these, just do it by hand, you know, use a circle to give you that rounded off shape. Again, I can't talk and craft at the same time. One sec, let me just, there we go, concentrated, got it better. Yeah, so just use a circle, get yourself something that's rounded, pop it in the corner, draw around it, and then cut it out. Just as good, but I'm doing this because it's easier and quicker. Now with my small ones, I'm going to flip it over and use the 1/4 inch side like that. I have used the bigger one, the 1/2 inch, and it's just a bit too wide for it. So I think for me the 1/4 inch side just looks a little bit better. And to decorate it, I've used this is a glitter wand, iridescent gold, silver. And what I liked about this was it just looked like the lollipop was just starting to melt. Your ice lolly was starting to melt, and I just used it. That's just slightly on the one. But you know what? I'm going to leave it like that. I think that's fine, actually. And I just do a bit down the side, bit across the top, down there, and maybe a little bit in the middle to make it look like it's melting. And there is my finished lollipop. I might put something on there, or like this one, I've used a stamp to do seaside. So see, I've punched out, I've put some silver mirror board behind, so you get a little bit of reflection on there. And then I've used the positive from the punches to right side there as well. I think in retrospect I probably would have had C a bit further down just to line up with that S. But you know, it was my first go, so I'm quite pleased about how these have turned out. Anyway, I'm going to carry on decorating them, and hopefully there'll be a nice photo at the beginning of this video. Yeah, I will see you in the next one. See what we come up with next. Whether I'll be using one of my regular goes or whether I will be trying something new like I have here. So yeah, have fun. Great. I think these are great ideas. I use them all the time, and I will be using this one regularly to create embellishments to use in projects, but also when my mojo's just, you know, I've lost my mojo a bit, and I don't know what to do. I'm just going to pull out one of my embellishments and make some more. Anyway, hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.